And we're live in 5, 4, 3... Oh no. Oh hell. Oh, not again. Oh, where'd it go? God. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh. Oh, woo. Oh, that was embarrassing. Good thing I didn't start the... Hello, and welcome back, dear listeners, to Wasteland Active Radio, your home for news in the lovely Ash Flats and Dashwood Outpost number 17. Yep, you heard me right. We've got a name now. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, Crispy, that sure is a generic name for such a great community. And you know what? I'd have to agree with you. But fret not, dear listeners, because that name is only temporary. But we'll get more to that in announcements. Last week's rad storms were thankfully low. Let's hope Bucket has less green and more blue in this week's forecast. We've got garden salads galore coming out of our fields. More on that and more updates on our housing and water situation coming up in today's local news. More of this, full of advertisements from a long-forgotten time to pass the current time in today's ad reads. And today, we'll be introducing a new segment hosted by a new correspondent to the station, Atlas. That's right, Sterling didn't shoot him. But we'll have more on that later in our new segment, On the Scene. Then, finally, we'll bring in a surprise guest for a delightful interview. Well, with introductions out of the way, let's move on to announcements. In today's announcements, we have a temporary name for our settlement, Dashwood Outpost number 17. However, nobody's really excited about the name. Apathetic is closer to the truth, honestly. With that in mind, we're holding a vote for a name. We'll be accepting suggestions for the name starting today and ending Wednesday at 8 p.m. sharp. The names up for the vote will be posted on the big notice board outside the station. Do keep in mind that we won't be accepting any names with profanity, slurs of any kind, inflammatory remarks, or excessive pandering. And dear listeners, I'll be keeping you up to date as the voting commences next Sunday with updates throughout the show. Our next announcement, to whoever vandalized the station this morning with crude graffiti, please turn yourself in. My face doesn't even look like that. Come on, man, not cool. Next, we've got another caravan that stopped in. Let's welcome our visitors, Bronze Tony's Munitions. He and his boys are stopping in for the next few days, and they've got a hell of a selection. Might stop down there myself later. Pick up a little sidearm in case somebody tries to, I don't know, break into the station and hold me hostage. You know, just in case. Finally, we're putting out the call for any and all folk looking to settle down. If you're willing to lend a hand, we've got food, water, and shelter for anyone and everyone who needs it, and plenty of room to put down roots. We're protected day and night by our guards and friends, the Daring Dashwood Mercenary Company, and we'd love to see you down at Dashwood Outpost number 17. That's all the announcements for the day. Let's go to Bucket for this week's weather forecast. Bucket?
Beginning weekly weather forecast program. Currently, the temperature is 82 degrees Fahrenheit with a high of 83 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies expected throughout the next 24 hours. Monday, the temperature will have a high of 86 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies with light winds. Tuesday, the temperature will have a high of 75 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear skies with light winds. Ambient radiation will decrease by 9%. Wednesday, the temperature will have a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 77 degrees Fahrenheit. slightly cloudy with light winds. Ambient radiation will return to safe levels. Thursday, the temperature will have a high of 73 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear, sunny skies with light winds. Friday, the temperature will have a high of 70 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Clear, sunny skies with light winds. Sunday, the temperature will have a high of 73 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Slightly cloudy. Forecast complete. Running diagnostics.
That's, great, Bucket. Thanks for the forecast. You feeling all right there, Bucket?
Acknowledged. Beginning search for flashlight.
Yeah, you're fine. Well, let's move on to our local news. In today's news, our fields have finally begun sprouting plants, and they're not just weeds. That's right, we've got actual food growing from our soil. While the Charleston family brought in potted potatoes, mute fruits, burnips, and gourds, they've also managed to get things like heavy lettuce, blood cabbage, glow sprouts, and beans to grow in what we thought was just barren, fertile earth. Fertile earth, just begging to be plowed and seeded. That's kind of better. Either way, we've now got a confirmed source of renewable food. The Charleston family farmers have really proven their worth, and we'll be celebrating their success with a group dinner tonight. If any of my dear listeners will be there, I'll be there alongside Sterling and his officers. Be sure to wave. I might just acknowledge you if I can stop stuffing my face. In other news, plumber Louis Zucchero is working on his most ambitious project yet. No, not a water park in the center of Outpost Number 17, like I'd originally hoped, but the beautiful and personally long-awaited return of indoor plumbing. That's right, dear listeners. Old Louis is working on making sure your dirty throne can actually carry away your leavings, without having to pull the bucket out from under your toilet, hauling it all the way to the sewer that the Dashwoods dug outside of the walls, dumping it in the filth pit, and walking all the way back to stuff that dirty bucket back under your not-so-porta-potty. Let's all hope Louis can pull it off, because personally, I'm tired of hauling out a dirty bundle after dropping off a load after a long day. And I'm sure you're feeling the same, friends. Thanks, Louis. You're making our lives better every day. In our next piece of news, Sterling has requested that I put out a request for more merchants. While the merchants that have stopped by have been fantastic, we could always use more regular traveling caravans coming through to bring in, new seeds for crops, ammunition, guns, medicine, and more necessities that we can't make ourselves or can't scrounge up enough of when we're scavenging. He's even offering a special reward for any merchants that agree to make Dashwood Outpost Number 17 a regular stop on their travels. The details of this special reward are open to negotiation, but he's offering a minimum of a 1,000 cap contract with caravan leaders. Bronze Tony already agreed to Sterling's contract, and I threw in a free advertisement on top of it out of sheer gratitude. You could receive the same treatment if you've got a reliable caravan, dear listeners. Just stop by Dashwood Outpost Number 17 for more details. For our final piece of news, Dashwood scouts discovered a raider camp to the northeast. Bad news, certainly, except that when the scouts arrived, they discovered that the raiders were already dead. Good news, right? Well, it would be good news if we knew who wiped the floor with them, especially since they didn't find any bodies aside from the raiders. If it was another band of raiders, it'd be hard to tell which group belonged to which, but most of the bodies showed signs of burn wounds from laser weapons. Laser weapons have been pretty rare around here. Most of the ones I've seen in my years kicking around these parts have been in the hands of travelers and a few mercs, but I've yet to see a raider pop off a laser out here. So we're putting out a call for information about whoever may have done it. It may sound a bit strange, but it pays to know what parties are out there. If you have any verifiable information, dear listeners, please come to Dashwood Outpost number 17 and report to the Dashwoods. We'll make it worth your while. That's the last piece of news, dear listeners, so let's move on to today's ad reads. Today's episode of Wasteland Active Radio is brought to you by the Elmhurst Stage Theater. Starting this weekend, the Silver Stripes acting troupe will be putting on a special presentation of A Christmas Carol. That's right, the Silver Stripes, America's only traveling robot acting troupe. They'll be performing for the first week of December at the Elmhurst Stage Theater, with tickets going on sale this upcoming Wednesday. Come and be amazed at the art of Charles Dickens, delivered through the art of modern science. Ah, the Silver Stripes. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. They're a bunch of robotics nerds that teamed up with a bunch of theaters nerds to make a surprisingly good show. I got to see them do Frankenstein once. And you know, there's something particularly amusing about watching a Mr. Handy put together a monster robot out of a bunch of different robot parts. Wasteland Active Radio is also brought to you by... sweet! Sugar bombs! Packed with vitamins. Sugar bombs explode with flavor. Start your day off right with an explosion of goodness. Sugar bombs! Available at most stores. Always a treat when you find an untouched box of sugar bombs, even though they do make my gums bleed. We're also brought to you by Bronze Tony's Munitions. I present you now with Bronze Tony.
Oh yeah, I'm Bronze Tony, and I sell guns. Come get your guns and ammo at my cart. I got the best prices in the ash flats, and so much variety. Best guns in the flats at the best prices. Bronze Tony. I'm here all week.
I'll be honest, dear listeners. I was slightly uncomfortable having him in here to record that. He was flexing the whole time, and I just... Well, to be fair, he does have the best guns in the flats. In more ways than one. That's all for ads today, so let's move on to our next and newest segment, On the Scene, with show correspondent Atlas. Atlas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I have a complaint.
Already? What is it?
This microphone is far too small. I've already dropped it 3 times in the last half hour, you worthless trash! I apologize for my outburst, though I do need a better means of holding this equipment.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure I've got a mic stand sitting around here that we could cut down to size.
That would be most helpful.
So, where are you right now, Atlas?
I'm currently at the barracks, and I am speaking to one of the scouts that returned recently. What is your name, tiny man?
I'm Sergeant Gerald White. Please call me Jerry.
No. I heard that you led the scouting party that discovered the raider camp recently. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We found the camp around...
Wait! Hold on to this tiny microphone with your tiny hands!
Oh, okay.
That's much better. Continue.
Right. We found the camp around 1200 hours today. When we arrived, all the raiders were dead.
That is most unusual. What state were the bodies in?
Well, judging by the state of decay, the bodies had to have been there for about 2 days. As for cause of death, we noticed the majority of them had burns that appeared to be caused by laser rifles, which we found very unusual.
Interesting. And what made you... Hold the microphone higher!
Sorry.
Don't be sorry! Be better! Now, continue. Why were the wounds unusual?
We haven't seen anyone else around the ash flats using laser rifles besides ourselves. We've seen a decent variety of weapons out here, but no energy weapons.
Ah, yes. I can see how your inferior intellects would fail to solve this mystery. Do you have any theories on who may have killed the raiders?
Well, we found some heavy footprints leaving the camp, though we lost the trail about half a mile out. The prints appear to have been made by either robot legs or power armor boots. Either one points towards either very teched-up mercenaries or a detachment from the Brotherhood of Steel. Either one is a potential problem, especially since the Brotherhood showed interest in this region in the past.
Very good points. Do you have a plan to deal with these possible assailants?
Yes, we're prepared for all possibilities. While their technology is powerful, it's no match for careful planning, well-practiced teamwork, and the drive of the daring Dashwoods. If they're ruffians, you can rest assured that we'll have them dealt with before you've even got time to worry.
I'm sure the weak and foolish plebeians in this outpost are reassured by your baseless words of encouragement. Ghoul, am I done here?
Yeah, that should be fine. Thanks for your time, Jerry.
You're welcome. Glad I could help.
All right. Now just give me back. No! Not again!
Sounds like Atlas dropped the mic again. Good thing I cut the feed before we could hear whatever ungodly noise Atlas is undoubtedly making. Well, let's move on to today's special surprise interview. Just a moment, dear listeners. Hey you. Come here for a second. I need your help. There we are. Your name is,
They call me Badger Boy. What you need, baby?
Well, you see, I'm hosting a surprise interview, and, well, surprise, you're my guest now.
Ah, you got me. Clever, baby. So what'd you want to ask me?
You're being a pretty good sport about this. Well, let's start with introductions. What's your name, and what do you do around here?
Well, I'm Arnold Young, but everyone calls me Badger Boy. I shoot the big guns around here.
Why do people call you Badger Boy?
Why? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Honestly, I just don't know, man. Man, I don't know a lot of things. I mean, what are even names, right? It's like your parents are just sort of like, this kid is Arnold. And you don't get a say in it at all. You dig?
Man, I don't think I'm high enough for this conversation. Don't do drugs, kids. So, you're part of the Dashwoods.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been a member, and what made you join?
Oh, man. I've been kicking it around with the Double D's for about 5 years now. See, I grew up on the coast, fighting the lurks and the clawed freaks that crawl up out of the surf my whole life. And when I was 19, man, this huge boat just floats up to the shore, and all these weirdos with swords and stuff talking all funny come out like, "Arr, we're here to take your butts." And we're all like, "No, you can't have our butts." But I guess they meant money, 'cause they totally took all of our money and stuff.
Butts. Booty. Wait, are you telling me you got attacked by pirates?
Yeah, that's right. That's what they were called. But yeah, they totally came in and took all of our stuff. Well, I mean, they stuck around and made us do all this gnarly stuff, like made us clean their boat and make food for them, and all the stuff bad guys make good people do. Yeah, it was real bad, and honestly, I'd probably still be stuck out there. Maybe even dead, if it hadn't been for General Taft. Yeah, he and the Dashwoods rolled up on their mole rats, guns all like rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, and beat the snot out of those pirates. It was so righteous. Like, man, you don't know how cool giant mole rats can be until they come rolling up with a bunch of hefty men sporting dope guns and cutting down bad dudes. Man, it was like something out of a comic. But yeah, I totally walked up to the general like, dude, you gotta let me join you guys. And he was like, you seem totally rad. You can join. Bro, best day of my life, bro.
That's great. Sounds like Taft is a pretty, solid dude.
Oh, totally. So you got, like, more questions or whatever?
Yeah. So you're sort of a big gun specialist.
Yeah.
What weapons do you use, and how does that help the settlement?
All right, my dead-skinned brother, check this out. I got the USML MK-32 model of missile launcher. It fires 40mm laser-guided anti-tank missiles capable of reaching up to 800 meters accurately, while the explosions are capable of straight wrecking any raider or mutant it hits directly. It's really good when they're all clumped together. Crowd control, Yeah, I'm in charge of hitting the big boys and dropping buildings full of baddies. To top it off, I'm also really great when it comes to defusing bombs and stuff that might blow up. I'm also really good with explosives. I can scat too.
Wow, sounds like you really know your stuff. How'd you learn all that?
Oh, I've been scatting since I was a young kid.
No, I meant the explosives.
Oh, yeah, my dad blew off his hands with a grenade when I was a kid.
I don't understand what that has to do with anything.
Well, he was a good dad and stuff, but, he liked to drink and hit me with his stumps when he got mad. I got real scared of blowing off my own hands with a grenade, so I started taking them apart to figure out how they work, so I wouldn't blow off my own hands and have to beat my own kids with my stump arms.
I think we're done here. Thanks for your interview.
Yeah, bro. Anytime. And hey, if you got something you want to blow up, just hit me up. I'll work it out.
Sure, I'll keep that in mind.
Well, I'll catch you later, Daddy-O.
Oh, thank God he left. Well, dear listeners, that's all we have for today. It's certainly been an eventful week, what with the preparation for the mutants and the dead raiders turning up. It's a scary world we live in, and the Dashwoods are trying their hardest to make this world a little less scary. With that in mind, we here would love for you to come and join us at Dashwood Outpost number 17. Remember to duck and cover after throwing your grenades. And as always, good evening, dear listeners. This has been Wasteland Active Radio. Crispy, signing off.
Wasteland Active Radio is created, written, and produced by Z. Hagen and Jay Wilson. Brought to you by the Record Button. Wasteland Active Radio is set in the Fallout video game universe owned by ZeniMax Media and Bethesda Softworks. No copyright infringement is intended. Please support the official release. Thank you. An additional note, the song that you're currently listening to, Lobby Time, is by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons. Attribution 3.0.
So, hey, bro, did you, wanna hang out sometime, or...
Quit badgering me, badger boy. Oh, I get it now.